removed the fuel pump assembly from the front tank, and you can see down here is the fuel pump, and coming from the top of the fuel pump is this line here which winds around and comes up to the top plate. Comes out of this and it goes straight to the small filter, which you can see over here, and then the return line is the one directly beside it, which if you notice comes down here and it comes through this little connector. Now in there is a spring-loaded piston, and that appears to be a pressure regulator with the bypass. Now that connector goes into this Venturi assembly, which is down inside the squall pot. So the full force of the fuel from the fuel pump is coming back into this assembly, and if you look down the big input, you can see there's a hole right through. When we pull this one out, the hole was blocked and there was no air through there, so you could blow in there and nothing would come out the other end. I just happened to put air pressure in the other side here, and I heard a pop and suddenly I can see through there. So I know that it's working, because if I put air pressure in, I might just get my offsider to put some air pressure in. Okay, so with this working, the majority of the airflow is coming out here, and there's a definite vacuum on that line there. So obviously while the hole was blocked, none of this was working. So apparently this has something to do with transferring the fuel. So I've just snapped the Venturi back down into the swirl pot. I'm not sure what holds it in, but it's fairly loose and I was able to pull it out fairly easily. So there's an O-ring that has to go into that seat just in there, and then the other connector with the bypass valve clips into that. So I'll just do that assembly and then I'll take another photo. So here you go. You can see we've clipped the fuel pump back into the swirl pot. You can see the bypass valve clipped onto the little Venturi assembly, and also the return line from that. And just remember, don't forget to put the O-ring in, and we're going to trace the rest of the lines and try and make sense of the circuit. At the top plate, this is the outlet from the pump to the little filter. This is the return from the pump. So we're going to put some compressed air in there, and this one here I believe is the one coming from the back tank. So if we can just put some air in there, full pressure, and there's definite vacuum on that hole there. So definitely the fuel pump creates a vacuum on this line here. So I'm guessing that's the primer that sucks fuel from the rear tank and starts it flowing, and I'm guessing that once the flow is initiated, it continues to siphon, so the pump doesn't need to keep running. We don't have enough information on that, but it seems to make sense.